Hello YouTube, hello, and we're back again, of course. We are always back. Okay, this time it didn't take me as long, but yeah, we're back. And today, excuse me, we're gonna be talking about Season 3 and some of my ideas behind Season 3. You can call it a wish list, you can call it how to fix Season 3, it doesn't really matter, right? But today we're not gonna be talking about everything in the specifics. Like not gonna talk about some character balance, for example, because that's very separate, how we can balance separate characters. But what we're gonna talk about today is gonna be some system changes, which means it's gonna be more systematic changes, right? General changes that will affect literally everyone in the game, not just one character, two characters, or whatever, right? For example, heat and how heat functions. So let's already start. So what I want to start with is obviously gonna be heat, right? I think heat is one of the biggest problems we have right now in Tekken 8. It is too good with not only what it does, but it also does stuff that it shouldn't do. What do I mean by that? Example. So this button, heat burst, right? It does a lot. It's not just a power crush, it does a lot more than this, right? So I think this button is an okay button to exist in the game. Some people think, oh, just remove them. For me, I think it's okay to exist, but this button should be a dedicated, what's it called? Anti-aggression button. It should not be a tracking button. For example, if they sidestep, you should not be able to catch them. This should be a get off me tool, and only that. Nothing else. Because right now it will catch people from I don't know, 3 miles away depending on the character to catch people. Sidestepping also depending on the character, and it does way too much. It even gives you +1 or +2 depending if it hits or not, right? Even that I might think might be too much. I wouldn't mind if they, let's say, didn't remove that, the plus frames. I mean, this +1 on the heat burst, I wouldn't mind if they didn't remove something like this, but it would be good if they did. Let's say it used to pushback. Maybe pushback would be better as well. But the priority here is not this. Priority is the tracking nerf. Some heat bursts track way more than others. The other priority is the range of it. Some heat bursts have way too much range. Way too much. Let me actually demonstrate this. Let me demonstrate it. So Kazuya's range right here is 2.7-ish on his heat burst. It's gonna whiff in 2.7. If I'm a little bit closer, let's say 2.6. There we go, 6, more or less, right? A little bit. It's still gonna hit. So the range is 2.7-ish. That's Kaz. Now if you ask me, even that's too much. But if we just change someone like Eddie, for example, Eddie's heat burst has a very long range. Why? It's because he has a long dancer's leg. Now look at this. That hit. So let me see how far away I can go. That's it. Range 3-ish. That hit. 3, right? Range 3. Let me go even further. 3.2-ish, depending on 3.2-ish. That didn't hit. So range 3, 3.1 is Eddie's heat burst. And that's a very big difference from the 2.7 of Kaz. That's a very big difference. Right? This should not have this much range. Look at this. That hit. How did that hit? You might think, oh, he heat burst from here. It's not gonna hit. Okay, it didn't hit there. There we go. I was just outside of range, I think. There we go. That hit. How did that hit? So it's way too much. It should not exist. It's the same with Shaheen's. Shaheen's also has a lot of range on his heat burst. I think the range and the tracking of heat bursts 100% should be universal. That would be very good, because heat bursts should be a dedicated get off me tool. And as I said, only that. You can't use it to check people from 3 miles away. Or catch someone to sidestep, and then, you know, it's your turn again. You can't use it that way. You shouldn't be able to use it that way. But yeah, let me just demonstrate Shaheen's as well. There we go, 2.9. Alright, let me go further back, 3.1. 3.0, let's say. There we go. So his range is 3 as well. I think Eddie's also similar. So it's a very, very big difference from someone like Kazuya's range, which is 2.7. Right? Very big difference. Crazy big difference. This should not exist. I think everyone's heat burst should have the same range and the same tracking. Tracking also, as I said, should be nerfed. Other thing I would love is for heat burst to not extend combos. You know, these extensions into whatever combos, they should not exist. Like this into tornado, into heat burst, into combo extension. This, I don't think this should exist, because it extends the combos way too much, which creates situations where instant tornadoes and low parries and floats, let's say, have way too much roll carry and way too much damage. Which means that these kind of launchers aren't that much different from actual normal launchers, which they should be. Like Brian's QCB1, for example, it's a normal tornado, but it's not gonna deal less damage than his wall standing 1, let's say. Right? It's not gonna be that much less damage just because of the heat burst into tailspins. Tailspins is a whole different issue, but yeah, heat burst, I don't think it should extend combos. I don't know what they can do about it. Maybe just the follow-up, maybe just won't do anything, but extending combos does way too much, depending on the character as well. But for a lot of characters, even someone like us can extend his combo by a lot just by doing a heat burst and tailspins. The other thing they can also do is they can also reduce the amount of tailspins or somehow nerf tailspins. That will also be great, because tailspins are a little bit too much. Like Kazuya's sidestep 4-1, for example, right? Sidestep 4-1, you can do sidestep 4-1 again, and then heat burst, and then sidestep 4-1 again, and stuff like that, right, for the wall carry. Maybe reduce it to 1, maybe. I'm not too sure what they can do about tailspins, but at least heat burst should be gotten rid of. Okay, that's one heat mechanic, right? Heat burst. Other than the ones I mentioned, I think it's gonna be fine, but other thing, let's talk about heat dashes. So heat dashes, I think, are busted for some characters. Some characters may be more on the okay side, but heat dashes in general are very strong. But what do I mean by heat dashes? I think, this is me saying, I don't think I've heard anyone else say this. I think there should not be a single hit dash in the game that will launch the opponent. So something like Kazuya FF2, this launches, right? You can tornado afterwards. This should not exist. I think the most heat dashes should do is a guaranteed follow-up, like something like this does, right? Into FF4 instead of a tornado or whatever, right? Like a guaranteed follow-up. I don't think there should be a single heat dash in the game that will launch the opponent, because it's too much for a move to launch the opponent while also being +5, especially there are certain heat dashes that's also impossible to avoid. And some of them are better than others as well, obviously, right? Let me just give you an example. One of the, in my opinion, one of the best and very broken buttons and heat dashes in the game is Anna's and Raven's. There might be others as well, but this two is like, comes the first in my head. And why these two? It's because they have, with Anna, she has 3+4, which is the booty, heat engager, right? That's also a normal hit launcher, by the way, in heat, if it hits. But at least that booty is unsafe, right? It's unsafe if you block it. Now, Raven has a 1+2, which is safe, -9. Now, I don't know why people don't talk about this character's 1+2, because this 1+2 is a Clive 1+2. Everyone complains about Clives. No one complains about Ravens. Why? I don't know. I do not know. I think Ravens is stronger. Even though Ravens is 1 frame slower, Ravens is still stronger. Because 1+2 is safe, -9, has a little bit of pushback, so it's not like entirely up in their face on block. And it's a heat engager, right? Just like Clive's 1+2. Now, why do I think this is busted? It's busted not only because of this is already strong, but it's busted because in heat, this is a normal hit launcher. This will launch the opponent into whatever combo, right? I don't know, Raven combos, doesn't really matter. So this will launch the opponent. And this is very easy to not whiff. All you have to do is dash 1+2. Or sidestep 1+2. This is very easy to not whiff. Even if you whiff this, not like this has the worst animation on whiff, right? So this is busted. This should not exist. I don't think anything like this should ever launch, but in my opinion, in general, heat dashes shouldn't launch. Doesn't matter what heat dash it is, they just shouldn't launch. That would be, in my opinion, that would be great. And that would affect something like Claudio's back 4-2, which is also a busted heat dash launcher. Right? It would affect that. Because other than that, they would have to nerf it in some other way. But heat dashes, in my opinion, right now are way too strong. Not only because you have infinite combo potential after the combo, because of the tailspins and the heat burst, and go to the wall and the wall combo and then mix up. Right? We all know that. We've all seen that millions of times. But also because the heat dashes have no risk most of the time. And some heat dashes might be better than some heat smashes. So it's kind of hard to balance. It's not only the launchers, by the way. There is some character-specific stuff as well, which I said I won't be talking about. But there are some other balances would be good as well. Like, for example, Feng's shoulder should not be a tracking move. Right? Feng's shoulder should not be a tracking move. That's just shouldn't be a thing. Feng's shoulder is a better heat smash than his heat smash because of that. Because it forces the opponent to play 2D while also not ducking. So, yeah, these kind of little balance changes would be great. It would be great about heat dashes. Now let's talk about heat smashes. So, thing about heat smashes is that one thing, which 100% should be the case, is they should 100% be very bad on whiff. How bad on whiff? So let me actually demonstrate this. I think heat smashes should be as bad on whiff as maybe something like Asuka's FF1 on whiff. So let me demonstrate Asuka's FF1 on whiff. FF1, this move. And when this move whiffs, let me just make it whiff. See that? I have a million years to punish that. This should be a heat smash on whiff. That right there. Exactly the same, minus a million. On whiff. That and their tracking 100% should be removed, and they should not continue their heat smash animation on whiff. If it whiffs, this happens. Something similar to this happens. They're very minus and they will be punished. They should be punished all the time if they get stepped. That should be the purpose of a heat smash, that you have to like make sure to time it correctly so it's unsteppable. Not like that's very hard to do. It's not that hard to do. But at least make that possible. Right? This would be great. Absolutely amazing. Second thing, no heat smashes should wall splat. They should not wall splat. And it would be amazing if they didn't activate any wall stuff anyway. Not the wall stuff, but like explosions or floor blasts and stuff like that, right? Interactions. Stage interactions. They should not be activated by heat smashes. That would be amazing. And this, by the way, this is if they want to keep heat smashes being plus. Right now, if they add some of these changes, not some of all of these changes, heat smashes being plus would be fine into another mix-up, let's say. But if they nerf the heat smashes being plus, then maybe them being like faster on whiff might be okay. They should still be linear, depending on how much frames they change. Obviously, they should still be linear, but the whiff animation might not be as bad. But if they want to keep it plus into another mix-up, the whiff animation is a must. 100% it's a must. They should always be punished, and obviously they shouldn't be tracking. Right? Obviously, that's also 100% of the time they should not track. And that's about heat smashes, about mid ones anyway. The low ones, I wouldn't mind if they removed the tracking, because most of them are tracking, and I wouldn't even mind if they made it launch punishable. Make it minus 15, it makes reduced tracking. I would not mind that at all. I think that would be a good change as well. But yeah, that's about heat smashes most of the time anyway. But also a little bit of a mention is that heat smashes on whiff should never ever go into any kind of stance. On whiff, right? I'm gonna show you guys an example of why I mentioned this. Because someone like Yoshi, for example, there are others as well. Lars also goes to stance after heat smash, even on whiff. So this should not be a thing. And the reason why it shouldn't be a thing is because when a Yoshi player, let's say, does a heat smash, he can go into this fly stance. And unless the opponent is very fast with their punish, this fly stance will actually make it into a float combo. Right? This would be a float combo instead of a normal combo, which will make it way less punishable, especially at the wall. Especially at the wall. So let me just demonstrate that, right? Let me demonstrate it. That should work. So let's say at the wall, a miracle happened and I sidestepped this. Okay, I couldn't sidestep. A miracle happened and I sidestepped it. You see what happened there? I did a jab. I think I did it too fast, but and it would have floated normally. Let me just try to demonstrate again. Oh my god, this game. Right, there we go. I did a jab there, and it was a float. Right, it was a float. I could not normally punish. A normal punish would look something like this. Let me just do it fast enough, just so everyone understands. I can't do this game, man. Okay. Like a 3-1-4 into down back 1-2 would have been guaranteed at the wall, let's say. Or even jab down back 1-2. Or down back 1-2. Whatever. Right? That would have been guaranteed. And I would have gotten the wall splat normally. Okay, let me try to get it, like, please. There we go, I got it. Right? This is a normal punish. If you do it fast enough, it actually works. But you won't always have the time to do this. Like, if I delay it just slightly, suddenly I'm not getting anything. He got dealt 12 damage, and all of it was chip. You guys think this is fair? It's not fair. This should never happen. I think heat smashes on whiff should 100% of the time be punishable, and very punishable at that. 100% of the time. Because on block they're already broken. On hit they would also be broken. Even if they remove wall splats and remove wall interactions, they would still be broken. They deal a lot of damage. And they're also plus on block. So as I said, I think this should be amazing changes. For me anyway, this would be amazing changes. But yeah, for today that's all I'm going to talk about, by the way. It's not going to be as long as my other vids. It's still long, but yeah. Anyway, YouTube, thanks for watching. Hopefully it helped understand some of the problems based on heat. I also mentioned tailspins, but most of it was heat. So yeah, thank you once again, and till the next one. Till then.